What is good, everyone? Saiyan5 here, bringing you another Good to Your Strive video today, and very surprisingly, balance patch notes for the upcoming balance patch released a day or two early. I think this was not supposed to be up at all until the day of the patch was going to be released, but of course, some of my Arxes accidentally tweeted that out, and we now have the patch notes for this patch. But first, if you haven't already, hit the like button for this video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell when I upload new videos like this, talk about, of course, Get to Your Strive. Now, this will probably be a long video, but I'll be telling you guys what is happening in this patch. No visual guide yet, as obviously the real patch has not been implemented in the game yet. But overall, I'll probably do like a breakdown, a visual guide of what's going to happen in this patch. But let's read these patch notes, and I think everyone is a winner in this patch. Everyone got something that they needed, and no one got butchered where the character needs to be dropped. Hint, hint. But let's get this out of the way right now. So, general game modes: added Jaco's playable character, Axel Season 1 pass, individual sale will be applicable on August 30th. Added Jaco's theme, Perfection Can't Please Me. Can't wait to hear that one in full. Jaco must be selectable in order to use the BGM. Reduce the input delay on the PS4 Pro and PS5 versions. That is very huge that they actually did that. So they actually fixed that really quick, which is really good for them to actually notice and see. That's amazing. So they're up there with the PC version of the game. Phenomenal. But there is one thing they have to still fix. While this update does not apply to the standard PS4 version, which I do play, we are looking into addressing this in the future. So that is great to hear that they're actually taking initiative and fixing the input delay. And now PS4, PS5 users can play the game as if it's offline. Amazing. Love to see it. Network mode. Fix an issue where the counter setting action options will be displayed incorrectly after matching in training mode, with the training environment set to reflect the prior match. Haven't really experienced that, but I do know that something like that did happen for a lot of people, but never really experienced that at all. Anyway, replay mode. Yes, this was the one that really bugged me when I was trying to see some matches, try to see what was going on, but different results. Fix an error where replay data would not be saved properly. Replay data saved in battle version 1.03 of the game may not be played back correctly after applying this update. This will happen to me sometimes where I win a match, but the outcome will show that I lost, or things will not properly play out as they should, and the character stopped playing, even though the match was going on way longer. So now they fixed that. Cannot wait to see actual matches now in the proper conclusions. Battle. Fix an issue where the effect will not display properly when a counter hit and wall break happen simultaneously. Yes, that happened a lot. That they fixed that. Fix an issue where the position of the opponent's character will change greatly after following up on a dust attack. I don't really know that much of that issue yet. Fix an issue where when some sound effects such as flames hitting would be played back repeatedly in certain situations. Didn't really experience that. I probably didn't notice that. Others, adjusted BGM volumes of some songs. Yes, Heavy Day, you can hardly hear it all. Seal Lily, you can barely hear that at all throughout matches, so great to hear that they fixed that. Fix some errors in certain in-game text. I would like to know what that is exactly in detail, but major confirmed issue. Network features are completely inaccessible under certain play environments. We are continuing to look into and addressing this issue. Yes, because sometimes I try to go to station and it says unable to go into station due to error or whatever. But yeah, glad that they're fixing that. Any players experiencing this issue, please contact customer support with the following information: type of console in use, internet provider, contact service, model number of the router, and the network after use. If possible, an image of the error message or a video showing when the error occurs. So that's really good to see. But anyway, character balance and bug fixes. This is the big one that everyone's waiting for. Adjusting to battle balance are planned to take place in August and October. This update focuses on changes to identify issues such as individual moves. We are also currently looking into improving and making changes to overall mechanics, as well as certain actions such as projectile special moves and ground overhead attacks in the update schedule for October. That's pretty interesting to see that they're doing that. Wow, so projectiles are getting buffs, so that's going to be a buff for possibly Soul, Kai for sure, Axel, maybe Chipp, Faust probably, maybe not Millia, possibly Zato, Nago kind of, Leo, Anji, Ino, and maybe Goldlewis. So it'll affect some of the characters, but interesting that they say that overhead grounded attacks are getting changes. So Dust might change. They might nerf or buff Dust. That's very interesting to see. Anyway, so the big one right here. For people that are hoping for soul nerfs, you will be gradually very disappointed. Anyways, Soul Baggot, Balance Intentions, changes focus on differentiating the properties of his normals as well as the situation after his special moves are blocked. The hitbox of forward S or 6S has been decreased on the top and bottom, making it more likely to lose to low profile moves, and forward P, also not 6P. Crouching S, which was not used very frequently, has been buffed and now serves a different use from other normals at mid-range. Okay, so let's see what they did exactly that. This is the big one right here about Soul that I think a lot of people are kind of surprised back. We added some knockback to far standing S, 6 far slash basically. The core of his close range game. Although the change is minimal when blocked normally, it has a major impact when blocked with faultless defense. The knockback on his crouching K has been decreased, making it easier to combo into sweep Dust or down D and other moves. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, because when you do like not 5K, 2K into 5D, sometimes it doesn't really like reach that well, especially if you're like in mid range, and unless you're in a corner that doesn't really hit. But glad to see that got buff. The S version of Volcanic Viper has had its active time extended, so a little bit of a buff, but you'll see right now, making it more viable as an anti-air attack. As increasing the active time makes the attack longer overall, it now leaves Soul more open to attacks when with or blocked by a grounded opponent. Also, blocking Branded Bringer, it's a little bit enough right there for Volcanic Viper, the slash version. It was difficult for both the player and their opponent to predict what would happen. I kind of agree with that, because you don't know who's going to hit first, or what will happen first, either 5K or something will get thrown, you don't know. It's easier now to put distance between Soul and the opponent after it has been blocked, and the situation is less likely to be impacted by the startup time of the opponent's close range options, although, so it's kind of a nerf, but kind of a buff, so you'll see what happens. After blocking Bandit Brigade, it was difficult for both the player and their opponent to predict what would happen. It is now easier to put distance between Soul and the opponent after it has been blocked, and the situation is less likely to be impacted by the startup time of the opponent's close range options. Interesting. Alright. Although Wild Throw is distinguished by its invincibility to throws, it's also used less frequently than Soul's standard throw. Agree. I try to use Wild Throw more often, but Wild Throw is, regular throw is too good. It's not possible to follow up with a Roman cancel when it lands, so Wild Throw got buffed! That's insane! And the change to the Heavy Monster Chase command is to avoid when inputting Tyrant Waves, so let's see what that means. Crouching K, reduced knockback, obviously standing S, which is far slash, increased knockback, increased the standing damage scaling, so they buffed it. They buffed far slash. Why? But unless you FD, you're gonna have a bad time with it. So they increased it, but they also like made it more vulnerable at the same time. But that kind of leads you thinking that they're gonna probably buff FD once the next patch comes out. Not this one, but the upcoming one. Crouching S, increased attack active time. The hitbox during the additional active time has been slightly extended in front of Soul, so a little bit of buff right there. Obviously, 6S decreased the hitbox on the top and bottom of the attack, and increased the hurt box around Soul's feet. So still disjointed, but I don't think Soul will have that great. Well, he'll still have a great range of that attack, but it'll be slightly nerfed. So Soul may have to be a little bit more closer to land those attacks, but more susceptible to damage to be hit when he does 6S. Grounded Volcanic Viper extended attack active time, increased time spent in the air, nerf and a buff at the same time. greatly increased knockback for Bandit Bringer. Aerial Bandit Bringer, greatly increased knockback, increased landing recovery. So that basically is like Cassie Cage's K11 Rising Glow Kick, where it leaves you more of a neutral state, resets neutral. So that's a buff. Oh my god. Wild Throw, it became possible to follow up by using Roman Cancel to increase positive frames on hit. So we have possibly XR plus R combos now in Strive. Obviously only when you use Roman Cancel. The move can no longer come out when inputting 4 directions after the command is complete for heavy opposite territory. Alright. So for Kai, this is the big one. It's easier for both his hits of Stun Dipper to connect for long range now. This means that it's more viable to get damage from his pokes at mid-range. It is now easier to use as a way to approach the opponents from long range by choosing the right time to use his move, or to use Crouchy S to stop the opponent's approach. Kai is now capable of strong ground and neutral game when taking limited risks. Alright, so they increased his neutral game and like his frame data, so that's pretty good. Now Dragon Stall, this is the one that needed to buff the most out of his all tool sets, I think. It was rarely used at all. Dragon Stall now increases the tension gauge after a set period of time. Good, that's what it needed. That's what he needed, either increase the health when he needed to use Dragon Stall, or increase his tension gauge and negate the penalty for using Dragon Install for that. But glad they actually used it, as it greatly increases Kai's average damage output after activation. We had intended it to be a valuable option, but it resulted in the move being underpowered and not very useful frequently. This caused us to reevaluate and clean buff to the activation. The change to write the lightning command is to avoid the issues with accident inputs. I think they forgot to put this here, but anyway, far standing slash reduce recovery, made it more difficult, affected by dash movement. Crouching K, decreased knockback. Stun Dipper made it easier for the second hit to combo by changing the distance traveled, the hitbox, and blowback of the opponent. Decrease the distance created between Kai and the opponent after the second hit connects. Alright, so basically more combo potential for Stun Dipper, which is really good here. Stun Dipper. Dragon Stall decreased the tension penalty time after activation. Hopefully it won't be that too much of a time. Sped up the attack start up upon activation. Expanded the hitbox on the activation in front of Kai, so that's really good to hear. And reduced the upper hitbox. So a little bit of a nerf right there. No longer activates when inputting forward directions after the command is complete. Oh, so this is the thing for Right Lightning. Okay. For Mei. As for standing, HS had much shorter range than her S attack. Despite having a lot of recovery, we reduced the recovery and improved the attack active time. Don't know why they did that. This makes it very effective at preventing an opponent approach during neutral. We also reduced the lower hitbox and hurtbox of far standing S, and reduced the active time of her crouching S. It is now more vital to choose which of her normals to use for a given situation. So you have to think more of Mei players. Overhead Kiss could only be followed up upon in the corner. However, it can now be followed up on mid-screen with adjusted made to damage. Alright, so a little bit of a damage nerf, but in exchange she's able to get combos on mid-range. So let's see what they actually did here. Far standing S decreased the lower hitbox and hurtbox. Increased the active time and decreased recovery for standing HS. So a little bit of a buff, a little bit of a nerf for those moves, but not situational. Crouching S decreased active time and expand the hurt box. Oh, it's a little bit of nerf right there for me. Overall, overhead kiss, reduced horizontal blowback following attacks possible mid-screen, reducing damage. So no nerfs to Totsugeki, but overall I think reducing the damage for it, for the overhead kiss in exchange for more combos is pretty good to see. The wonderful dynamic Goshogarawa, which is I think the Shamu super, fix a bug that causes the attack to hit after wall break occasionally. So a little bit of a bug fix there. So for Axel, it was hard for Axel to get significant returns for his standing P and crouching P for mid-range. Despite the rest of them losing out to the opponent's attack, they can now combo into snail even on grounded hits. So ooh, so Axelmates have new combo routes. It looks like it's now easier to use one vision in combos, as the ready stance can be cancelled into special moves. So finally, this move is actually getting a buff. It is now easier to make use of in situations when a Roman cancel could not. Led to big fallouts such as long form range, and when moving during this time slot, which would make an opportunity for a wall break combo. That's pretty cool. So snail, despite the attack time, can combo into snail from grounded hits such as standing P. So more Gatling options for him there. One vision, the ready stance can now be cancelled into from special moves. That's pretty cool to see. As with the activation, decrease the time of tension penalty when in the ready state. Alright, cool. So a little bit of a buff for Axel, not big changes, but glad to hear that they gave him that, as there was too much difference in facing an opponent who could anti-air his jump K. This is for Chipp. It is now easier for anti-airs to hit him during descent. So good. A little bit of a nerf to him right there, thank goodness. On the other hand, he is now left in a more advantageous position on hit or block. So a little bit of a buff too. With less distance between him and the opponent, Chipp can now continue his offense after making contact with this move. So they gave him more of a hurt box, but in exchange they allowed him to get in more on the opponent on jumping K. Hate to see it. Chipp means you are eating good. The lower part of his hitbox for far standing slash has been reduced, making it more likely to lose to low profile moves such as N4P, which is 6P. However, his crouching S can now be used as a better means to approach the opponent with its extended range when used after a dash. So, ooh, dash attacks now. This means it is riskier for the opponent to throw out moves in neutral against him. I'm still throwing out 6S, I don't care. Far standing slash reduces the lower parts of the hitbox. Crouching slash made it more easily affected by dash momentum. Adjusted the attack's range and increased the hurt box as well as the behind in front of Chipp. Reduced knockback for jumpy K. So buffs and a little bit nerfs for Chipp, but overall maybe I don't know why they buffed them, but they did. But everyone's winner here. Potemkin, we have really increased the merit of making the opponent block Heat Knuckle. So a little bit scary right there. It is now more difficult for the opponent to punish Potemkin when the opponent blocks the latter half of the active frames of 6K. So ooh, so a little bit more dangerous for opponents to get into Potemkin right there. This makes him viable as a method of approaching the opponent from mid-range. Alright, so they made his mid-range game better. Landing recovery fixed an issue where the hurt box around Potemkin's feet would disappear on landing, so they fixed that right there for him, so they're more susceptible to damage. 6K reduced recovery, so it makes it fast for him to get in there. Heat Knuckle made it easier to gain tension when blocked, greatly increased the opponent's risk level on block. Oh my god, so it's kind of like Fafnir and Garuda, except I don't think this is a guard break move, thank god. So, ooh. As Casey said, this could potentially move Potemkin to top 6. Scary, man. So he's knocking someone out of top 6. I wonder who he will knock out. Alright, so Faust. He got some changes. Some of them he really needed really bad. Bone crushing excitement, causing wall break on hit in the corner now. Thank goodness. Now he plays strives. Thank god. This benefits Faust's extra damage output and tension gauge. Alright, that's good to hear. It is now easier for Faust to prevent the opponent approach using his improved standing HS. This greatly increases his pressure at mid-range when combined with the increase to his crouching heavy slash hitbox and faster startup on his aerial jump K. Alright, so standing H. Increased active time, increased damage on the following hits, so good, a little bit of damage, but thank goodness he needed that. But only for one move. Decrease the hurt box and startup and extended the hitbox in front of Faust. Alright. They said it was a buff, but a little bit of a nerf. So they increased his oh no, wait. Oh no, this is above. I read that wrong. Yeah, but yeah, that's really good to see. So crouching at HS better for Faust now. Jump K, sped up the attack startup, reduce the hurt box before the attack comes out, adjusted opponent's blow back on hit. So that gives him more really good aerial options to punish the opponent. And obviously his super, bone crushing excitement causes wall break on hit in the corner, creates distance between Faust and the opponent when wall break does not occur, and increases Faust's advantage. So alright, give him more of a neutral winning matchup right there. So great to see. For Faust players, you are eating good. And for Millia, in order to make her grounded attacks more viable, the recovery of her standing HS has been reduced. And her special moves that can be cancelled into from normals have been buffed. Alright, Millia means you don't have to jump as much in the air now. The S version of Tandem Top can now be used in combos off of hit confirms. Good. So now she can go on the offense with less risk due to being able to link some normals into Lush Shaker at normal close range and a continuous block string. So LK said that Lush Shaker was fine, but now like he has this tool now, so they just made Millia better for LK and off Millia users. So y'all eating good. Reduced recovery for heavy slash. Talent top slash version increased momentum speed of the hitbox and faster into combo hits. Iron Savior fixes a bug that causes unnatural behavior on Clash. I haven't really seen that. Lush Shaker sped up the attack startup. So it's going faster now, so Millia means you are doing good. This is a good patch actually. I like this a lot. For Zato, we have mainly improved his options where he cannot summon Eddie. His standing HS has been significantly buffed, making it a strong choice to prevent the opponent's approach. 6P now blows the opponent back on regular hit, making it more reliable as a choice to take control from the opponent. It can now also combo into standing P at close range. So good. So good that they're giving Zato more options when Eddie's not up with these buffs. Quarter circle back. When Eddie is summoned, fixes the bug where Eddie could take other actions in mid-range during leap. However, the ability to do this using some void realm mechanics remained at this intentional part of this strategy. Alright, so a little bit of nerf, but they kept some of the bugs that they found, so that's good. Standing HS, increase the attack time, increase the hitbox in front of Zato during the additional active time throughout. So good. 6P sped up the attack. Startup causes the opponent to lift up off the ground on ground hit. So OTG combo right there for Zato, it seems. And summon Eddie, recalling Eddie during quarter circle back. When Eddie is summoned, the summon can be cancelled faster. So good. More love for Zato. Ramlethal. By increasing the forward movement of Daru, it can now be used in mid-screen combos more easy. So I was saying earlier that, well, now that the tiers video is now scrapped, I said in that video, but which no one will see because it's got scrapped, like I said, Ramlethal didn't really have that much mid-range combos, but now she does now. Aggressa Ordono can now lead to knockdown against grounded opponents on hit, greatly increasing the benefits of landing a hit with it. So that's good to see. But on the other hand, now easier for aerial heavy slash to lose to anti-air attacks due to the decreased hit box on both sides. The player now needs to consider when to use her various aerial options. So you gotta think a little bit, Ramlethal fans, when you're up there in the air and you want to like throw that option. So right, I said aerial heavy slash reduces the lower hitbox behind and in front of Ramlethal's attack. So be careful when you do that. Now Daru increases forward movement. So basically rush up Daru attacks, watch out. And Aggressive Ordono floats the opponent on ground and hit only when both swords are equipped. So she can't do that when one sword or no swords are out. So little good detail. So Leo, I was hoping Leo would get a nerf. No, they didn't. They decided to give him a little bit of love. I don't know why they did. Increasing his options during bout hunter stance, making it easier to open up the opponent's defense mechanics have also been adjusted so that he will always move towards the opponent for some reason when using the dash button, as he would previously sometimes mistakenly move away from the opponent. So no, he did not need this. Why did they give him this? Even Sonic said like He's bad. When it comes, he can't open up opponents. And apparently Daisuke heard that and decided to give something to Leo. I don't know why. Why? Alright, so forward, backward movement during by 100 stance. Now, Leo can move forward towards the opponent when using the dash button. And K during by 100 stance can now be dash or jump cancelled. He did not need this. Why? Oh my gosh. Leo might be for sure top 2 now after this. This is insane. Oh my gosh. So Nago. Okay, Nagoriyuki. Depending on the situation after the first hit of Wasureyuki, it would sometimes not go into the rest of the animation. This led to a technique to secure follow-up damage by hitting with the edge of the attack, but also made it disadvantaged when hitting with the back of the attack. We have made it so that it will not occur when the back of the attack hits, and so that it can be followed up with a combo instead. Alright, cool. The follow-up from his far standing slash makes it easier to decrease the blood gauge. So alright, so a little bit of buff right there for Nago to decrease his blood gauge. This ability has been further buffed. 6p sped up the attack startup. So faster anti-air options for Nago besides too heavy. Far standing slash, the follow-up hit, increase the amount of blood gauge recovered. So more so Nago players can be a little bit more crazy when doing special cancel moves. So for that, and Wasureyuki no longer goes into follow-up animation when the edge of the first hit connects with the opponent. When the last hit connects, it blows the opponent back regardless of the position. So a little bit of buff, a little bit of nerf right there, but depending on the situation, it varies. So Giovanna, best slash in the game. What did they give her? She can now combo into 6p from such moves such as standing P, making combos easier in situations such as punishing the opponent. When the final hit of 6HS connects, she is now in a better situation for Okizeme. There is now a merit of choosing not to cancel into a special move depending on the situation. So buffs for Giovanna, 6p, sped up the attack time, just like for Nago, and 6 heavy or 6H. The final hit on the follow-up knocks the opponent down on hit. Oops, sorry, on hit. So buffs for Gio. Gio memes, you are definitely eating good. So Anji Mito. We're almost done here. I'll give you the worst character of the game. May not be anymore, and this might push him into I believe I had him at A-, now possibly moving into the A+ tier. Anji, you can now mix the opponent's blocking at mid-range using Fujin now because the motion occurs before the attack is active. You have reduced the risk of using far standing slash as a poke by reducing the recovery. So he was like stubbing his hits, but not anymore. This is good to see for Anji players. You get better damage off of standing heavy due to the slight increase to the forward movement of Fujin. So on whiff, you're still able to bust out those buttons, Anji main, so you are good. Eseogi Sai has been buffed mainly so that it's easier to cause wall breaks, so that's good. Far standing slash for reduced recovery. Fujin made it possible to cancel into various follow-up moves even on whiff. As I said, the motion begins before the attack is active. Increase for movement. So great bust for Anji for Fujin. Ichishiki increased the attack active time, extended the hitbox, and Eseogi Sai extended the hitbox as well. So bust for everyone. This is actually a really good patch, as I just said earlier, but this is amazing. So we're almost done. 2 more characters left. So Ino. I had Ino with Kai at A. Characters that are good, but they're not the worst. But they don't really excel that much, but when they do get going, they're really good. It's just they need something to really help them out, and they gave it a Ino here. The movement of her grounded and aerial hover dash has been buffed, expanding the options for both Okizeme and neutral. The changes to her normal, such as standing, heavy, and the heavy version of stroke victory, create additional opportunities for combos and increase her pressure at close range. So good. Ultimate Fortissimo has been buffed mainly so that it's easier to cause wall break. Alright, so grounded aerial hover dash increase the movement speed and distance so she can go in faster now. and cover more distance, standing heavy slash and sped up the attack startup and made it float. Made the opponent float on a grounded hit. Leading more combo potential. Crouching K, reduced knockback. Sweep, which is her down D, down dust. Reduce horizontal opponent blowback on hit. Aerial D, adjusted the hit effect on grounded opponents, increasing the attack time for follow-up attacks to give you more options on follow-ups, which is good. Stroke the big tree heavy version reduces the knockback, so less pressure. I mean, more pressure on the opponent because they gotta read if Ino's going to do high, low, or another stroke the big tree heavy or slash version. More mix-up options for Ino. Ultimate Fortissimo increase the forward movement, so that brings her more closer. So great to see for Ino. Ino getting buffs. Now Goldlewis is a character now. The hit effect of Skyfish will now be buffed depending on the current security level. It provides a major advantage on hit at level 3 in particular. The adjustments of Crouching K and 6P are minor but improve their usability. So 6P, I think it was too high, but I think they expanded it lower so it'll be more viable. Dust attack adjusted the landing recovery after the finishing blow hit to match other characters, reducing knockback on Crouching K. 6P sped up the attack startup. Skyfish, the hit effect now changes depending on the security level. As I said, level 3 is more viable and more usable to use. And down the system, fix a bug where the wall break will not occur and there will be a graphical error when hitting an opponent at a certain distance in the corner despite the follow-up animation occurring. So yes, this is it. Actually, everyone did not get bad. Everyone actually got good. The top tiers are still the top tiers. The low tiers got better. I think the gap between the top tiers and the low tiers has increased to the standard where I don't think there's a vast gap anymore between those characters, and the really good characters that are not quite the top tiers got more advantage, where some of them might have moved up to the top tier level to the point where some of the previous top tiers might have just went down to just being really good, but they're better as they were before because this patch is really, really good. Everyone got better. Everyone got so much better, especially this guy. Surprisingly, they gave so more options, which is ridiculous. I can't believe it. Anyways, everyone is a winner. And we'll have Jocko right here coming up soon, so cannot wait for this patch. I love it. This patch is really good. Everyone's winning. Everyone is eating good. Even Goldlewis, even though like he didn't get a significant buff, but I think his damage output is cause for not giving him great buffs as many Goldlewis may want. But I think the damage output calls for these changes, and now he's a good character. But love to see it. Love to see everything that's going on. But anyways, guys, tell me down below in the comments, what was your favorite buff for anyone in the cast, and who did you hate not getting buffed, and who did you hate getting a buff? I know a lot of you guys are hating the fact that this guy is still the best character in the game. I'm happy. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below what do you think. Anyways, thank you very much for watching the video. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell when I upload movies like this. Talk about, of course, Gear to Gear Strive. This is Sane Survive, signing out. I'll see you guys later. I'll catch you in the next video.